walked on Instagram, Gen Z, so you could run on TikTok. We gave you everything. So be kind to millennials, because we are just as angry as you are, but our backs hurt and we have heartburn.
I wanted to talk about, the title of your special, Different Animal. I love that you have this kind of like an aggressive title, but it also seems like it's got a bunch of layers to it. So what really inspired it, and how does it relate to your comedy?
I wanted to do something that was very me, but also, my comedy has like a little bit of force and aggression built into it, but I did want to sort of announce that I'm on this new platform, and I think what I bring as a performer is different. Every comic should feel that they are bringing something unique. Otherwise, why are you an artist, And so I also wanted to tap into the fact that I do animal noises. Like in a literal way, it is a different animal because I do these animal sounds and I'm very theatrical in what I do. But I also wanted to say this is different comedy than what you might get somewhere else. I think that I create a very special product. And we were doing a show in Detroit. We got out early. Sturgill Simpson was playing next door. I'm a fan. So Live Nation gave us tickets and we went, and I'm watching him and I'm looking at his lighting package and I'm looking at all the performer things. And I was like, this special, because I had to name it like within the week. I was like, this special's got to be something different. And then I was just playing with the idea of like another animal, a better animal. And I was like, a different animal. And then I like Googled it. I'm like, is that an expression? It is. And so I'm a different animal than I was before I had kids, than I was in the last special. I'm a different animal than you get with other comedy. And so I wanted to just run with it, but not do a photo shoot involving a cheetah. No big cats.
Just a dog.
She's not even, ever present.
Yeah. Makes a little cameo in the beginning. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah.
I don't think you are. I think if you watch an Iliza Schlesinger special, there's going to be an animal there.
Of course.
And so we didn't push her too hard. She's not really a performer.
But, going back to the, making a special new and different, I feel like every special you have has some element of theatrics, in terms of just the set design, your outfit, everything. It's just totally different than what most comics do. How far ahead do you visualize what a special is going to look like?
I believe in creating a product. I believe that if people are spending their time and money to come and see you, which is the greatest sacrifice we can make in this economy, they deserve a polished product. You don't deserve to see me come out there and stop to drink and have a beer and not have any production value, especially for a special. This is show business. And I think sometimes we get away from that. I mean, look, I'm the first one to perform in leggings and sneakers when I'm on tour, but for a special, and it should be special, you want to give them a show. And so we worked really hard on the design and the layout, and we went through a lot of different options, but we just wanted something that was big and shiny and an announcement of my presence on the platform. And somebody came up with Iliza big, because the idea is you're watching this, and just in case you forget who you're watching, we wanted it to ever be on screen. And I wanted it to be fun and polished and visually appealing. I thought about doing everything in white, and Amazon was like, that's going to be a little hard to watch the whole time. They're like, you should be the whitest thing about your set. So
yeah, definitely. It's visually stunning from the minute you come on stage. Everything looks really good.
Thank you.
I also admire the fact that, having seen you around town in LA, you bounce around a lot. You're very focused. It's like dressed down, very inconspicuous.
Yeah.
When you're drilling your new material.
It is a drill.
It is.
I am drilling it. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to get into. What's your mentality like when you're in that mode?
I believe in loving the work. And so when I go out at night, like, I am there to get something out of it. Always do the set. When you don't feel well, when you're tired, if there's no real reason to stay home, like if you have flu, like maybe, okay, stay at home, don't spread it around, or do. I think maybe COVID was started by a bunch of male comics. I don't know, just like breathing on a microphone. But I'm there to do work, and I'm there to find all the little weak points. I'm there to find new things. I'm there to find tags. So I get up, if I'm not on the road, I'll get up like 2 or 3 times a night. I don't do 3 sets as often as I used to, because by the 3rd set, even if it's only a 20-minute set, you're still like, did I already say this to you? Or was that the other club? But I try to get up a few times a night because I don't write anything down. So it's all in my head. And so for me, it's about retaining, remembering the muscle memory of that got a laugh last time. Let's see if it gets it at the Improv. Let me go back to the Comedy Store, and just reworking and kneading this material over and over until it's something polished, worthy of a set like that in a special.
That's crazy. You don't write anything down.
I write down like a word, Like it'll say like Jello, and then that's like my mental cue to remember that entire bit.
Wow.
But I'm a big, even though my memory feels so shot since becoming a mom, I'm a big believer in the repetition. That is the workout. And so I'll do a lot of shows where I riff. Like if you come to see me in Hollywood, chances are I'm making up like a third of what I'm saying there. And then it just all, I feel like whatever's good sticks. And that's how we arrive at the hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
You talk about mom brain a lot in your special. And
Talk about it a lot before this interview.
Yeah.
Trouble getting here.
I wasn't really hip to the fact that it's like parts of your brain shrink.
Thank you for asking that. Yeah, a part of your brain shrinks when you become a mom. And I know people watching this are like, we better ask Joe Rogan. There's no way. There's no way she knows that. But it's true. Your brain actually chemically, biologically shrinks to make way for a part of your brain that in fact enlarges when you become a mom. And that is the part that knows how to reflexively care for a child. Because it isn't as easy as babysitting. Like that's your mother's intuition. Those are the eyes in the back of your head. All of those are senses that are in fact overdeveloped because you are inflamed when you become a mom. So it's the reason like I can anticipate what my child might need or why a mom can do that. So while you are looking for your phone as you're on it, you are still making sure your child like doesn't fall or grab a knife. So there's a give and a take. I often forget to use a turn signal now, but at least I know my daughter's favorite foods.
And I mean, how do you balance that mom brain with hustling the way you do in comedy? Because you're literally one of the hardest working comedians. So how do you balance that?
I don't know if it's a balance because I do think a balance just suggests that you haven't fallen so off kilter that you're in some sort of mental facility. And I know that women often get asked about that. There is no balance. There is just doing it. Like I just get up and I put one foot in front of the other and I just do the best I can. And I know from watching other moms, I've decided to never come down too hard on myself. Like you are really doing the best that you can. And the good news is your kid doesn't know any better. And you just do it to the best of your ability, knowing that you will be faulted for, much in the way you faulted your parents, everything you did and didn't do anyway. So we may as well let them have that cookie.
Do you feel like there's a difference now that you've had a daughter and now a son? Is there a difference in the way you parent between boys and
Well, he's only one, so there's not a lot to do
Not a lot
other
of
than
difference, yeah.
like, please don't grab my hair.
Yeah.
But I will say it is heartbreaking to leave them. And I don't remember a ton of it from my daughter because your brain is like this foggy mess. And stand-up is one of the things that does keep me grounded. Like the consistency of getting up in those clubs year after year and knowing everyone, like that is the one consistent thing in my life over the last 20 years. And it's always been something that's brought me such joy. And I love my fans so much. But your heart is broken when you're not with your kids. And then when you're with them, you're like, oh, I need a break. But it is a weird thing. Like you become two different people. Like when I leave, I have to just know that my heart is in pieces, but I've got to go do this amazing job. But I can't say that I get the joy from being on the road in the way that I did before. Like I've been to Pittsburgh, I've been to Austin, like I've been to the gift shops, I've been to the bars, I've eaten the steak. And all I want to do when I get off stage is just like go to sleep so I can get home the next day.
I think that your special highlights something that I've noticed more in comedians who are in that millennial group as y'all are having kids and talking about it.
Y'all, how young are you? Why are we othered? How old are you?
I'm 39, so
We.
okay, but I'm not a comic, so that's why I was trying to.
But you are an elder millennial.
I am an elder millennial. I'm on my last 30, holding for dear life.
Hold on to it.
So as we millennials are reaching a certain age, and having children and everything, I think it is great that comedians who are also experiencing that are able to talk about it because it feels like a different era, obviously, than what our parents had for us.
That's right.
And so what is it like sort of crafting jokes around that topic?
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're a woman, you're always going to get asked more about your children than men do. And for me, there was a bit of a stutter step because to even begin to talk about something as life-changing, life-affirming, and life-shattering as having kids, these are waters that you've never navigated before. And I've gotten horrific comments like, you're not going to talk about your kids, are you? Which is disheartening because men get to do that. And it's like, oh, that's so charming. Give them a sitcom. But when women do, it's kind of seen as like, oh, well, she's unfuckable now. She has kids. Ugh, that's not going to be for me. And they're so young. So we're not at the place where I'm like, and my daughter said this yet. Like she just turned 3 and I feel a need to protect them. but I also deeply feel a need to, at this stage where I'm still synthesizing what it means to be a mom, to stand up there as a normal woman in society and be like, and I also have a lot of hot takes about other things. So for me, the commentary on being a mom is less about the specificity of an interaction with my child and more commentary on society's commentary on a woman having kids. And even within that, I do keep it to a minimum in the special because I'm still so blown away by the experience that I'm having. I haven't processed all of it yet. So in 5 years, I'll complain about the kids.
We can other the younger generations now, because you definitely have some good material when it comes to talking to Gen Z, Alpha, like your younger fans who are not, they're a different place of life, but you find a way to make these jokes multi-layered for everyone in the audience. And what's that been like for you to kind of develop new jokes for new audiences?
I mean, I'm always developing jokes for me, and I'm mindful of who might be in the audience, but I'm very lucky in that I don't have a homogenous audience. I think some comics you know exactly the archetype of person, and because I'm fortunate enough to be able to play audiences across the country, you really don't know who you're going to get. You can kind of guess, but we have everyone from, conservative veterans to a super queer contingency to, people that look like your parents to, some to Gen Z. And so it's always about the truth and it's always about saying something honest because comedy comes from vulnerability and from honesty. And I don't hate Gen Z or baby boomers. Like that doesn't get you anywhere. So this monologue I have about Gen Z versus millennials, it really comes from a place of, as a millennial, being like, please just give us a break. We've given you so much. And I think even if it makes people mad, I think it's still doing its job because it's making you think. But my comedy comes from a place of very much wanting to be seen and explain myself and everything. I don't ever write anything to hurt anyone deliberately. And so all my comedy comes from this unending need to understand like what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, and I mean, watching your stuff as a male and hearing you talk about the gender sort of double standards and stuff, it's usually never to, like you say, it's never to bash men, it's to empower women. So why is that important? Why is that an important message to sort of drive home to like some male fans that you have?
Sure, to the 6 of you that I've retained. I think we make the mistake of thinking that if it's pro-female, it has to be anti-male. And both things can be true, that you are critiquing something without aiming to harm and also wanting women to feel a little bit better. One of the things, the comments that I sadly still get is women will come up to me and they'll say, that was my first stand-up show. And I'll be like, well, that's right, because your boyfriend probably only showed you his male comic, so you thought comedy wasn't for you. I'm not the only woman who does stand-up. Thankfully, there's so many more now than even when I started. So everybody can kind of find something for them. But I think that there's a way to bring men in, and I call it digestible feminism. Bring men in a way that you just present the facts and you make everyone laugh, but you are saying something that women in the audience can vibrate with. And men, if you don't hate women, will be like, hey, there's a good thought. This idea, I don't think you get anywhere when you get on stage and you shit on men under the guise of bringing women up, because that makes women uncomfortable. You lose the men. If you lose half your audience, you're losing the crowd. I know some people might say like, well, at least everyone's listening, but you want everyone to feel good. People are still buying a ticket at the end of the day to leave their troubles at the door and feel good. Nobody buys it to hear why their politics are wrong, why their gender is wrong, why their color is wrong. And so I try to keep it all social and light and just hit you with like scathing hot facts that are irrefutable wrapped in comedy so you can digest it and talk about it on your drive home to La Crescenta later.
When you started comedy, what was your perception of what stand-up could be?
Oh my God. When I started comedy, I don't think I had a perception because I was thrown into it and I became a touring headliner at 25. So there was no real time to gather information. I didn't have a mentor. I was headlining at an age where most of the people around me were still gritting it out in clubs, and you're alone. Like, it's a solo sport. And so, you're playing a papered improv in the middle of America, and you're just like, wow, it'd be really great to get to a place where I could make $4,000 a weekend. It'd be great to get these shows sold out. and I never looked beyond that, because I was working so hard to sell the t-shirts that I brought with me, to fill that room, to get past just a regular guarantee and get to a door deal. Like, there's all these little levels, and the internet was around, but we didn't have social media, comedy on social media in the way that we do now. I wish that we had. It would have been so much better for me. So it was never about looking at someone like Chris Rock, which was so out of the stratosphere. Like, those are just celebrities. And so it was just about one foot in front of the other. I had no idea how much money could be made. I got into comedy because I just loved doing it. And that begot so much else. But for me, there's micro goals, but the goal is always to be, and I've said this, I've gone on record in every interview, artistically fulfilled and always leveling up at every stage, which is why I'm in this outfit.
Yeah, and we appreciate it.
Thank you. And I think your viewers will too.
Yes. I mean, you have so many layers to this special, everything that's going on with you. You talk about, various issues. Is there something that you would hope that fans walk away with after watching it?
That's a great question. My only hope ever is that people walk away feeling great. Like, yes, that's nice that I say these things for me just as much as the fans. I hope that men come away a little bit softer with women. I hope women come away feeling a little bit better. I hope everybody comes away with their faces in pain from laughing so hard. What I want is for you to have a great time, truly, and to admit that the pants were hot fire.
And they were.
Thank you.
They were.
Thank you.